Welcome to Marketing Game Changer Secrets, where you will learn from one of the top leaders in the network marketing industry. Teresa Harding has grown her team to over millions of people. She's grown online, she's grown offline, she's grown organically, and she is ready to show you the secrets. She's ready to change the way you think. She truly cares about the success of her team and the people that she teaches. So get ready to learn the tips, tricks, and secrets that will allow you to grow a successful business in the 21st century.
I'm Teresa Harding, and this is Marketing Game Changer Secrets. This podcast is for people who know that this industry is not about the network marketer anymore. It's about the people we serve and the change we can make in other people's lives. It's about the entrepreneur inside each of us who is trying to find our voice. It's for the people who want to change the world and are looking for the most powerful way to make that happen. Welcome. I am so excited to be here talking with Jennifer. You guys are going to love my guest today. But before we get started, I just want to tell you the topic, you're going to love her because of her, but you're also going to love her because of the topic and the things that she's going to be able to help you with. You will not believe her story. I'm going to let her share some of her story, and I'm going to introduce her in just a minute. So first of all, let me introduce Jennifer. She is seriously amazing. Wait until you see here. I don't even know. It's going to take a while just to introduce her because of her accomplishments. So I'm going to try to go through this quickly. So this is Jennifer Bitner. She honestly, she used to work in the corporate world, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But she traded that out, all that hustle, all the craziness, and the burnout and all that kind of stuff. She's traded it in for something that is so much better. And she now teaches other people how to live a life with less stress, more freedom, and she knows exactly how to do it because she spent 10 years as a general manager in the fitness industry. So she has a phenomenal background. She quickly climbed up the corporate ladder. She exceeded all the sales records. She got accolades. Everybody loved her, and she had all this great success. But it was during that time that she ended up starting to have some really serious health challenges. And I'm going to let her talk to you about that. So I won't go into more detail about that, but it really created an imbalance in your life. And Jennifer wanted to change that. And so she left that behind. She started working internationally with her network marketing business, which allowed her time freedom so that she could build at the pace that she wants. She actually still grew quickly and was amazing, is one of the higher ranked leaders in the company. She's one of the top 7% of the highest income earners in a $1.5 billion company. A lot of network marketing companies don't even hit that level, but you're one of the big leaders in that company. So that is saying a lot. And she honestly has created a life where she gets to live the way she wants. She gets to work on the project she wants. She gets to help people the way she wants. So I am really excited to welcome Jennifer. Oh, and I have to tell you something else really cool. This is just kind of cool. So I just have to tell you, she is a wife to a racetrack owner. And I actually got to see the racetrack, and I have a promise. Do you remember this, Jennifer, when we met? The promise that we get to come back and go on the racetrack. I cannot wait. That's going to be fun. So she has a little 3-year-old. She has a 3-year-old who she calls a diva, which we all immediately know exactly what she's talking about. And I already love her and want to meet her. I don't remember if I met her. Did I when we were there?
No, she wasn't in Mexico.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
Left her at home.
Okay, so I got to meet this girl at some point. And Jennifer has written a book. So I would have interviewed Jennifer anyway, but she's written a book, and I'm going to let her tell you about that. So first of all, let's show off your book. Show off your book and tell people a little bit about your book. Okay, Jennifer.
Okay.
Just Girl with Anxiety.
This is my book.
Since we're saying the title of a book, we can say that.
Yes, this is a book about a decade of my life where I clearly struggled with some health challenges, and this is a copy of everything that I went through and everything that I learned, and how I ended up taking a holistic approach to a fit and healthy mind, and how I ended up moving throughout my journey towards mental freedom just by connecting the mind and the body and bringing the body back to a state of ease and peace, and how that was so impactful. And so it's my whole journey. It's my whole story. A bunch of blog posts that are in there, and some challenges for people who may be going through the same thing. But also I find that, just for someone that may have someone in their life who's going through it, this helps understand what it's like for someone who's experiencing these types of challenges.
Yeah, and the truth is, everybody deals with those feelings, but it just depends on the level of severity, how often, if it's a kind of a continuing thing. So, I mean, you obviously have an amazing mindset. So let's talk about some of that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You're so successful, and a lot of people can't see themselves as successful, and they also can't see, how can I be that kind of successful without giving up my whole life? Because you had the corporate job, you changed to have more freedom. How do you have any more freedom now than you did then?
Yeah. So that's actually a great question, because so many people say that to me. They'll see what I'm doing on social media, and they're just send me messages. They're like, girl, do you ever sleep? Like, you own 2 businesses, right? I own an international selling planner company. I have my network marketing company, and my husband owns a speedway. So, we're at the racetrack every weekend, and we have a 3-year-old, obviously. And so, and we have her in daycare part-time, so that it gives her socialization, but then we have her the other, 5 days. And so, a lot of people just say that to me, like, you're crazy. How do you do all this? How do you manage all this? And I look at that and I say, first off, it starts with a burning desire. If you have to have a burning desire for something in life, in order for you to achieve whatever your greatest joy, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, it starts with a burning desire. It starts with that insatiable need to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And when you have that in your mind, when you know where you're going, and you already know what the end result is, the journey is the fun part. That's actually where the gold is. It's who you become in that journey. That's actually the power, right? And it's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to be even fun. There's days where it's like, why am I doing this? And how through this, and I need a therapist. And so I actually work with an amazing coach. She is but I only work with her every 2 weeks. So we talk every other Tuesday. And I actually sent her a message yesterday, and I said, I need an extra session this week. I've got some things going on in here that I just need to piece out, right? And I need to sort out, and having that extra support for somebody. And she's like, cool, let's talk tomorrow. So it's just, people think that I just do it, right? Like, I just do it. But there's support is a huge aspect of it. I have an incredibly supportive husband who quit his job so that I could run with my network marketing company full time. And we quit when I was at the platinum rank, which was nowhere near replacing both of our incomes. But we saw the vision. Again, we were okay with, I said,
a hard place.
That's it. Because faith and fear can't exist, right? So we had to choose one. And I said, we're choosing faith. And if that means we have to sell this big house and sell our cars and sell everything we accumulated from our big corporate jobs and live in a tiny home, live in a trailer, I don't care. But if it means we're going to live the life we want to live, and we never ended up having to do that, because when you follow your true path and you follow what you're aligned to do, you will always be taken care of. Things will never be taken from you. They'll always be given to you. Even if it feels like something's being taken away, it's not. It's part of the plan. So that's where I just say, it happens. Sure, we run all these businesses, but I am a time management queen. I just know how to prioritize my energy. I prioritize the things that I do. So I'm not doing fluff. I'm doing the right things. And
one of the things I want to do, one of the things we're going to go into a little more deeply a little bit later is the strategic planning, because you are so energetic and you're so excited. A lot of times people end up thinking, they just go, go, go like an Energizer bunny. Yes, they might have that amount of energy, but the reality is people who are good at this, they are strategic with what they do. They make sure they have downtime. So,
and you need to channel that energy, because it's not sustainable for me to be super energetic all the time. Actually, that's how I ended up in this predicament, right? Is that I had to learn that does not work, and that you can still be successful in a healthy way.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to point out from what you said, because I love how you said, you've got to find what you're passionate about. But let me speak to that for just a minute, because a lot of people think they see the Energizer Bunny type person and they go, well, I don't have my passion like that. And in fact, this is something that my husband, Roger, will understand. I think you'll understand what I'm talking about, Jennifer, because usually we're not like our spouses. We usually marry people who are different than us. And my level 10 excitement, what I look like on the outside, is completely different than when my husband is level 10 excitement. Doesn't mean he's not level 10. Doesn't mean you're not passionate about something. So don't compare your passion to someone else who looks more passionate on the outside, or the way the world thinks is more passionate. Your passion can be very quiet. It can be different than other people. But
Yeah.
so keep that in mind as we talk, because if you get in that place right now at the beginning, watching Jennifer, seeing how amazing she is and going, yeah, see, I'm not like that, you're going to lose all of what you could learn from this interview. So just remember, your passion is completely different than someone else. It's what makes you care deeply, what makes you want to help people or think about something, and really it matters to you. So another thing I want to ask you about, kind of about mindset, is, what I want you to do is tell me your thoughts on personal development. Because sometimes people get onto this like spinning wheel where they're just like, personal development, and then that can lead to the whole need to write that book.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Tell me your thoughts.
You know what? This is a huge one, because we see this a lot of the time, especially in the field of network marketing. It is a personal development business just wrapped with a compensation plan, right? And a beautiful product most of the time. So, this is huge, because there's some people who repel personal development. For whatever reason, they can't seem to move into past those blocks, peel away the onion layers. They get really kind of resistant and hesitant on doing anything that's going to show them the wounds that they have. And so
it's scary. It's really scary.
It's very scary. It's scary to confront that stuff, especially if this is the first time you are facing these things, because then traditionally, we kind of go through life and we can find our ways to sweep things under the rug, or to leave a job that, is making us uncomfortable. So we leave it, but we take those problems with us, whatever the reason is for, sweeping things under the rug and just trying to find it better somewhere else. The same problems are going to follow us, because it's in us, right? It's in us. And so personal development is so huge, to grow through the things that are preventing us from living our best, truest life, like to being the person who's able to accomplish and grow to those high ranks. We have to shed old beliefs and old patterns and old ways of being in order to become a new self. And so, for me, when I had that burning desire, when I first started my business in network marketing, I had this burning desire to hit a certain rank because I just found out I was pregnant, and I was like, okay, I need to hit the rank before this baby comes out, because then I know that I've replaced my corporate income and then I won't have to go back to work. And so
let me just say, I can just imagine what happened in your mind when you were making that plan.
Oh yeah, it was bulletproof. I had a vision. I knew where I was going, and nobody was going to tell me no. And the people who weren't inspired by that vision, they didn't attract to me, right? So we didn't attract each other, because they maybe weren't in that place right then. And so that was okay. But I went to everything. 8.5 months pregnant, I drove 2 hours to a boot camp in the snow, in a Canadian blizzard, to this event because I needed to be there. And I sat the entire weekend, 3 full days, huge, with this baby like moving and kicking, and I sat in the seat and I was like, oh my back. But I didn't care. I was like, I need to absorb what I'm here for, because I still hadn't hit my rank yet. And 3 weeks later, so it was 2 weeks before my daughter was born, I hit that rank. And it was so exciting. And I was like, whatever it took, I would fly to the events, I would go, I would drive to the US, I would go wherever there was a boot camp. You knew I was going to be there, because that personal development is the biggest piece. And the more you can immerse yourself in it, the faster you will shed those limiting beliefs, those old ways, those old patterns that aren't serving you. You've got to face them. Like, you have to face them in the mirror, because they're not going to go away on their own, because they're protecting us, right?
Yeah.
So that is, personal development is such a big piece. I do not listen to the radio in the car. I only listen to audiobooks. It's, you find the ways to do it. If you like to go to the gym and hop on the treadmill for 45 minutes, don't watch the TVs, have your phone, listen to an audiobook, watch a webinar, do a podcast. Why not, right? Now you're working your body, you're working your mind. That personal development piece, it can always be fit in during the commutes to and from work. Like I said, when you're doing something else, have a podcast on when you're cooking dinner and doing something mindless. Like, there's always ways to fit it in. And we just have to choose for that to be an important task that we do each day.
Yeah. Okay. So what about, a lot of people talk about personal development and they talk about, quote, coaching, but a lot of people don't want to talk about counseling. Somehow it makes them feel like they're inadequate if they need counseling. But counseling is absolutely just coaching. So tell me what your thoughts are about that.
Counseling is just coaching with a degree. That's all, right? It's like, it's basically, I just have more schooling than a life coach, and you can probably use your benefits to pay for me, right? So I don't, there's no different. Like, therapy is therapy, right? Aromatherapy, talk therapy, whatever it is. It's just here to help us point out blind spots. So you can be counseled by your husband, right? The most powerful mastermind on this planet is one between a husband and a wife. And you could be counseled by, I actually have someone who I highly respect. He is like a younger Tony Robbins here in Canada, and he's powerful. And I remember he sent me a message a couple months ago and said, he's like, hey, Jen, can we hop on the phone? I just want your counsel on something. And, that even kind of struck a chord for me, where it's like, we do have this stigma associated with counseling, thinking that I'm broken, I'm a mess, I'm going to be labeled as something if I say I have a therapist or whatever. Meanwhile, we use, it's just, sometimes we look at people who are more broken than us and ask them for counsel. So, we're always doing it. It's just looking at it from a perspective of, I'm seeking counsel that's actually going to take me to where I want to go. And no matter who it is, if you align with the person and you feel that connection with them, and what they're saying to you is truly lifting you and making you a better person, then all they're doing is pointing out your blind spots, because we have the answers in us. You just need someone good enough to ask the right questions that trigger an aha moment so we can have a breakthrough. And for some people it's God, some people it's a physical person here. Like, it just, it comes in so many different forms. But I will forever have a coach. NBA players, I live outside Toronto. Our team right now is in the NBA finals. We should have won last night. Lost by 1 point. So, you look at them, they all have therapists, athletic therapists, coaches. Like, everyone has coaches. Everyone, no matter what you are, a professional athlete or a singer or an everyday mom, we need that social support. We are social beings. We are not born to be independent people. When it's said, like, back in the day, you see tribes, right? Everyone were tribes, right? The natives, they traveled in tribes. We all were meant to be social beings. So there's no reason why today's day and age, we shouldn't be seeking the counsel of others or elders or whoever to help us grow, as long as the information that we know intuitively is what is helping us actually shed old non-empowering beliefs and learning things that are going to help be a better person.
I love what you said. I don't think I've ever heard it described that way, the way you described what counseling is, and how people are helping you have that aha moment. They just need to ask the right questions because you have it inside of you. So I think that was absolutely beautiful. So what I would like to know is, so Jennifer, you have built a massive business and you are one of the most successful people in the company. So if you could tell people the most important things that they need to know to build their network marketing business, because we have people who have all different types of personalities, some who are very energetic on the outside and some who aren't. What are the things that are the most important? What would that be? What would you tell them?
And I look at my sister and my sister is, my business partner. She's my front line, and we are polar opposites. And so she she grows on the low, right? Like you don't hear from her a lot, and so she's not very out there. I'm the opposite. And so we have
I
very
need to interview your sister. It would just be fun for everybody to see the
totally. We actually have something called the Wellness Advocate Distillery. It's a website, and she just creates, she's a homeschooling mom, right, to two boys in grade 4, and so she creates templates and handouts and all these things. So, whereas I'm like, I just need to preach it, you know. So, but the most important thing is to have a vision and share that vision with courage and authenticity and confidence, because it doesn't matter what kind of personality you are going to attract people who are in line with your vision. If you are uncertain, if you are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, if you're like, I don't think I'm going to do my 100-point order this month or my qualifying order this month, because you know what, I just didn't sign anyone up. That's the same thing as saying, I have a restaurant and we have no reservations today, so let's just shut the doors. You know, you need to treat it like it's a legitimate business. You treat it as if, you know, this is my everything, and there's going to be slower times, there's going to be hard times, there's going to be fast times, but there are going to be different seasons, and that every single person is trusting that you are on the exact right path at the exact right time, the exact right way you're supposed to. Don't look left and right to see what everyone else is doing, because now you're comparing yourself to a journey that is not yours.
I love that you just said that, because we need to learn from each other, but not in comparing.
No.
In learning the beauty that everybody has to offer, but do our own journey, run our own journey our own way.
We have to, because you could never walk their course. It's impossible, because you didn't have the 30 years experience that they had coming into it. You didn't have the life that they had. You don't have the thoughts that they have. So looking at someone else and then saying, oh, but she's doing it like this, but you don't, you like, that's literally saying that you would have to impose yourself into their body and be them, because we just lose sometimes that piece of authenticity when we are comparing. So sometimes it's even best to unfollow all the people in your company if that's triggering you, right? Like, I follow
watching them.
Right, watching them and like, you know, stay your path. And there's one girl who for me she's in a different network marketing company. I have followed her. So I'm very proud to be in network marketing. I go to all the GoPro events in Vegas. I've gone to 4 of them now. And I go to the most powerful women in network marketing. And I'm blessed that I actually won tickets from Kirsten Kirschbaum this year. So we went to Vegas. And so, you know, there's someone who I follow who's in a different company, and her energy is like the highest level you can imagine. And sometimes I'm like, look at where she is so far, and I like haven't gotten there yet. And so one of my teams just sort of crumbled a little bit, and now my rank maybe dropped a bit. That doesn't change my skill level. If my rank maybe switches because something happened in my business, and it's the title rank that month isn't the highest rank I've ever achieved, does not mean I'm less than, does not mean I'm not worthy, and does not mean my skill set has changed, because nothing's ever taken away from you. Sometimes things like that happen, or it's a slower growth, because those are the skill sets. For me, the skill set that I need to learn when that stuff happens is about relinquishing expectations. It's about learning not to operate from a state of ego and being obsessed with what my finished rank is that month, right? Because that is not going to grow my business.
Yeah, and sometimes that helps you recognize where it's time to up-level a skill that you didn't need to up-level before. And now it's time, so you go, oh, okay, here is where I get to work on this and get better in this place so that I can help my team and we grow in a different way, in a bigger way, or whatever it is.
Because sometimes we look at all of these high-level leaders and they're preaching, you know, I need boundaries and I need all of this, but someone starting doesn't really have the luxury of boundaries yet, right? Like someone who's just starting their business kind of has to just go for it, and be out there and you know, and go through those levels, because that's kind of one of those things. If you're just plugging into high-level leaders and you're looking at where they are right now, they had to do all the things to get there. And so if you're starting at the beginning, be inspired, but don't be jealous, right? Don't be triggered, be inspired and say, okay, now I'm starting here. And there's you know, really powerful like belief summits you can look at to see like where you can go throughout your ranks, and if your company has one. But you know, it's like new level, new shedding of your old self, new, you know, rising of this new space that you're going to be in this new person you're going to become. And, you know, and this was a lot of work I had to do with my spiritual coach. Like I had to, and I had to do a lot of just letting things go up, you know, and praying and doing things that allowed me to connect to a side of me that wasn't attached to that ego and that drive and that desperation, because we all will go there. We will all go there because this industry is somewhat designed to make you hustle a bit, right? And so you do have to keep that in check if it's making you feel not aligned. So you have to be able to do what I call the humble hustle, right? It's like you're still hustling, you're still running your business, and you're still being like a superstar, but you're doing it also in a way that feeds your soul and that feeds that joy piece and that keeps the balance in check.
And I think that is exactly what allows us to be the servant leader. Because when we're in that ego place, we're more worried about us. But when we're in that place of humility, it's because we're caring more about the people that we're serving than we're caring about us. And as soon as that transition happens and that highlight is off of us and that spotlight is on someone else, all of a sudden we can't worry about ourselves because we're worrying about them. And it's kind of an either or. People think, oh, I can actually do both, a little bit of both. That's actually not true. And they've done studies to show that either you are in one place or the other. You might be able to be really good at going back and forth really fast, but you're either service-minded and in that humble place you're talking about, or you're worrying about you and comparing and jealous and, you know, trying to figure out, oh, yikes, I'm not good enough or whatever it is.
And I think that's why we say, right, you can either be fear-based or faith-based, but you cannot be both. You have to choose one. And when you shift to the ego side, you're choosing fear. And then you shift back to the service side, you're choosing faith, and you're choosing, and when you're your vision and all of that. And that's
abundance.
Totally. And I still go through that, right? I still go through having to remember that. That's why when I have my coaching sessions, I have to literally write everything down, because when I go into that space, which we are naturally, 98% of the population will not find their purpose, will live their life unfulfilled, like will go through the motions, and they'll be very fear-based driven, right? And 98% of the population. So can you imagine like the work that the 2% that are living in their true purpose and that are free and that are totally faith-based and that are, you know, we need more people living in that 2%. And it takes work to be that 2%. But when you are, that's where you're living life by your design, right? And so we need to stretch that 2%, and we need to start being part of the change that allows more people to experience what that is like. And the more support and the more there is people out there vibing at that level, the easier it is for other people that are going to be able to attract to that. So it's just like we have to make the choice to be part of the trailblazers who are like, I'm going to start leading that way, because I know then more people will be able to vibe at my level, and then we can stretch that 2% to like 10% of the population living in their true authentic. Can you imagine the peace that would happen if that was going on?
And I think one thing that people don't really realize is you talk about how it takes work to do that. It absolutely does. But that work, when you're passionate and you're excited about it, work is fun and it's hard and you have ups and downs. But guess what? You're going to have that if you don't do it. Exactly. You're going to have to work, and you're going to have to go through pain and anguish and joy, and you'll have all of those things whether you do it or you don't. So it's just a different kind of work.
Negative mindset and positive mindset takes the same amount of work.
Yeah, so same amount of energy.
What you want, right? And I think that's what it is. Like I'll spend a weekend course like I just did last weekend, and sometimes my friends are like, how do you just keep going to all these events and these courses? Why do you go to so many courses? And I'm like, because I think differently. I think differently than most people. And so for me, that is valued over going to a barbecue or going out for the night. Like, it's just, but that's also, so people will, it's the same thing. Like, people can't judge you where you're at in your life if they're not willing to do those things. Or people want to hit a diamond rank, but they're not willing to do the diamond work. So we have to just get really realistic with, am I willing to pay the price? Because you can't get something for nothing. So if you want to achieve that type of greatness in your life, you have to be willing to pay the price to get to it. And the price is sometimes going to be beautiful and rewarding and abundant and amazing and feel good. And sometimes the price is going to totally suck. So, we just have to be willing, right?
Yeah. And the reality is, whatever choice you make today 5 years from now, you can look back and go, wow, look how my life has changed, or wow, I'm exactly in the same place I was before.
Yeah.
And nothing has changed. Okay, so one last question before I kind of ask you a couple things about your strategy and the strategic stuff that you do, the way that you train that. I want to get into that a little bit before we go. But before I go there, I want to ask, you've talked about ups and downs and all that kind of thing. How do you stay motivated? Because life is hard. And anybody who pretends like it isn't, when things are great, there are going to be hard things that come. So when those hard things come, because the other part's easy, that's awesome. How do you stay motivated?
Right. Actually, that reminds me of a quote that my divisional manager, when I was working in the fitness industry, used to say, it's easy when it's easy, but the true sign of a champion is what they do when the times are tough. And so,
I love that.
Yeah, super. And I always remember that. I always remember it is easy when it's easy, right? Everyone wants to do it when it's easy, but what are you going to do when you didn't get what you wanted, when whatever, you deemed something to be a failure or whatever, how do you deal with those tough times? And so for me to stay motivated, it literally comes down to, I'm not sure if everyone here is familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich, but Think and Grow Rich has been a powerful part of my life for the last year. I would say it was instrumental in shifting everything that I do as a business. I'm actually getting certified to become an instructor with the Think and Grow Rich Institute. So it's taken a year to get that training. That's actually part of the weekend courses that I keep going to.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the mind fitness side of it. And, motivation for me is when you're in your joy space. So what keeps me motivated is when I wake up and I write my statement of desire. So a statement of desire is something that was written in this book from 1937, that 500 of the richest men, Napoleon Hill studied and interviewed for over 20 years, they all did the same similar things to gain their success. And so this statement of desire, which was created, I literally have a book that every morning and every night, I open it up and then I write, my statement of desire by hand. And that's what keeps me going, because it reminds me what my intention of is today. I also started with my own team. We have something called Fired and Focus calls. We started that May 1st. Every single morning at 7 a.m., Monday to Friday, we hop on a team call for 10 minutes. It's a Facebook Live. And we just, different leaders run it Monday to Friday, but I learned how to get up earlier. I was waking up at 8:30 and now I wake up at 6:50 to get on this call. And that motivates me, right? So implementing things within your team that is going to help everyone, gain that excitement. And so for me, what I'm motivated the most by is always having a reward. So I know what I want. I know where I'm going. My vision is clear. Those things are paramount. If you're not clear where you're going, you're not going to be motivated to do the work. Again, you have to pay the price to get what you want. So you need to be motivated by that end result. So do you even know what you want? If you don't know what you want, you've got to start there. The knowing what you want alone is what is going to motivate you, because I can't motivate someone. I can only create an environment which is motivating for my team, but I can't motivate them. And we've all tried it, right? We've all tried to drag people to things. But we can't do that. They have to be intrinsically motivated by their own end result. And when I see in people that they have no idea what they want or where they're going or what they're doing, they're the ones that usually are the ones that kind of either fall off or, aren't excited to do those daily actions. So it's about, how can we get you into a space where you truly are connected with what it is that you want out of life?
Yeah. And what I love about what you said, for those of you who maybe caught this, you talked about writing in your book and you used the word remember, so that I remember, to remind myself. That's what you said. And I think that that's probably one of the most important things, because the reality is when we are going through those ups and downs, the down times are when it's hard to remember why we're pushing harder, why we're doing something, why it matters so much to us. So I love that you said you do things that help remind you why you're there, why you're doing it. So, well, I want to, before I let you have some last words, I want to share that one of the things that you're amazing at is strategy. And you created something called, well, I'll let you tell it, but it's the Dough Planner. And it is a strategic way of balancing your life and making sure you get the things done that you want to do. So talk a little bit about that.
So here's my Joe planner. I am a paper person through and through. We have an app, but I love my paper. But the Joe planner was created for wellness advocates. We also have the Net Pro planner, which is a company generic version. So this is obviously a version connected to my company, but then the Net Pro planner is a generic version, but it's strategically designed with network marketers in mind. So, you know, we have sections for vision boarding and discovering your why and, you know, filling in your strengths and all that kind of good stuff. And then we have a whole section in the planner for putting in your contacts and your follow-ups. So there's a contacts tracker where you can write down this is a blank page. I didn't flip you over to one of my, I don't want to put people's names on here. Wow, Jen, you contact a lot of people. But this is the contacts tracker, so you can write down exactly what you've given people, what you've sampled them, and then let me go to a blank page here. There's an enrollment tracker, right, so that you can service your people properly. So the Doe planner was created around pipes. The Net Pro planner is pretty much identical. We've removed anything that may seem a little bit more essential oil focused. Like we don't have the essential oil recipes in there and all that fun stuff. Yeah. But the week by week planner allows you to focus on your income producing activities. So there's a section for your self-development that day that you write in, your contacts, your follow-ups that you do every day. So it's daily self-accountability. So you get to check off the box when you've accomplished it. Okay. There's a part for your weekly wins. The month at a glance has a section for all your expenses and your mileage and your business focuses. Next year, I just finished the 2020, so we've been working on that.
Oh, how fun. Now you said there's an app, so you do all of this stuff within the app?
So, and the app is similar, but has some other different features, some cool features as well. So the app is web-based, which we made it so you don't download it from your app store. You actually just go to the doughplannerapp.com and you get, it's a web-based, so you can use it on your phone, your laptop, your iPad, your friend's computer, it doesn't matter, it's all in the cloud. And so there's a CRM system in there, there's a drip email campaign system, so no one falls through the cracks, there's a follow-up system. You can take pictures of your receipts with your phone and it scrapes all the info. So super cool. I'm personally a paper and pen girl, but this for me is my strategy because I live by my schedule, knowing what I have to do, who I've committed to, and then I don't overcommit because I can look at my schedule from a high level view and look, you know, how many very intensive things do I have on the schedule? I know how many days I need before and after an intense event to recoup and recover so that I don't enter a state of burnout. Because I've been there. And
for me, I ended up getting the large iPad just because I can't see the whole month clear enough on my phone. And I have things in different colors so that I know that purple is family time, green is for my church. I have all, you know, blue is work. So all of these different things, I know exactly what you mean. You need that high level view so I can see, no, if I take that on, I won't have any free time. So I'm leaving that as free time. Sorry, I'm busy this month. We have to go to next month. I do the exact same thing.
And it's learning how to guilt-free decommit to things, right? It's learning how we can guilt-free say no. And it's like, you know, we need to be able to give cleanly with no expectations, but then we also need to be able to say no to things and without that, like, oh, are they going to be mad at me or hate me or whatever? Right, like, no, I'm looking at my schedule. If I fit you in, I'm going to be having like a fetal position in the corner, like having these anxious feelings because I'm overcoming it. And like, that's not fair to me or my family or anyone else, right? So it's okay. People will be like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it next month. They're not going to care, but
okay, so I love it. So do you get into any coaching with people who want to learn how to strategize and plan out their life better?
Mm-hmm. So we do, I do a lot of videos. So with the Doe Planner, if you follow us on Facebook, the Doe Planner, I put out videos every single week. I talk about the quotes of the weeks that are in the Doe Planners.
Okay, awesome.
I did a master class last week. I taught to our community. We did a 3-day Jumpstart Your Biz challenge within our Doe Planner community. And then, so this is open for anyone that no one, like half these people aren't even on my, if not all of them are on my team. My team's like, I already hear enough from her. So.
And then what about generic network marketing?
Yeah, exactly.
So the generic one, and then they still go and listen to the Doe Planner. So you're teaching them how to do it, but they just use their own notebook.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do lives. I teach how to do time management matrix. So I teach how to do the Stephen Covey time management matrix. I teach how to do future time stamping so you don't get overwhelmed with all the things you need to do. So we've got loads of free content for people
awesome.
there.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for making that available for people. So before we end, I just want to see if there's, what last words would you want to share with people before we go?
You know what, I think the most crucial thing, and what I've seen so much, just even on my journey, is people being, they're looking for that right piece of advice, or they're looking for, how is this going to happen easier or, faster or whatever. And it's trusting that you are on the right path if you are in action. And for my biggest thing is, don't get stuck in learning. Don't get stuck in, I see people that just do personal development, but do no action. And so it's understanding that if you want this result, and this is the action it takes to get that result, is that without this action, you have to adjust your expectations. If you're like, well, I'm not willing to do 3 presentations a week, but then we have to adjust your expectation that your outcome is going to be diamond, right? So we have to learn that with our desires comes the work. And so even in the statement of desire, from the Think and Grow Rich statement of desire, it says, I will render a service to the fullest capability that I have. And this will be, I will render this service with high quality and high quantity in a harmonious spirit. And that part is so important, that we can't just say or pray, and say like, I want to achieve this, or I need this much income, or I want to achieve this rank, but not render a service in the highest capability that is going to be of high quality and quantity to actually attract that. So that's my biggest thing, is that having people understand that from a business perspective.
So tell me, where can people find you? Just tell them quickly where they can find you.
So I am on Instagram, Jennifer_Bitner, Bitner. I'm on Facebook. If you do @the Jennifer Bitner, that's my business page.
Okay.
JenniferBitner.com is my website. So basically, it's my name for everything.
Okay. So we will put some links down there for people, and we'll figure out what you want us to do about the book, because I know people are going to be looking for that. We want to make that easy for them. So thank you. Yes. Thank you again.
We have a book launch next Wednesday. If this happens to go out before then, I'm having a global online book launch from 12 noon Eastern Standard Time to 1 p.m. It's going to be a fun party. It's going to be 1 hour. It's going to be live, and it's going to be just fun. So people can grab it.
That date. Say that date again.
It's going to be June 19th. So Wednesday, June 19th, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
1 hour. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And she and I were talking about it, and I'll tell you what, she's giving away some really fun stuff. It's going to be a really fun party. So check it out if that's something that you're interested in looking into. And thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Yes. All right. I will talk to you later. Something called, well, I'll let you tell it, but it's the Dough Planner, and it is a strategic way of balancing your life and making sure you get the things done that you want to do. So talk a little bit about that.
So here's my Dough Planner. I am a paper person through and through. We have an app, but I love my paper. But the Dough Planner was created for wellness advocates. We also have the Net Pro Planner, which is a company generic version. So this is obviously a version connected to my company, but then the Net Pro Planner is a generic version, but it's strategically designed with network marketers in mind. So, we have sections for vision boarding and discovering your why, and, filling in your strengths and all that kind of good stuff. And then we have a whole section in the planner for putting in your contacts and your follow-up. So there's a contacts tracker where you can write down this is a blank page. I didn't flip you over to one of my, I don't want to put people's names on here. Wow, Jen, you contact a lot of people. But this is the contacts tracker, so you can write down exactly what you've given people, what you've sampled them, and then let me go to a blank page here. There's an enrollment tracker, right? So that you can service your people properly. So the Dough Planner was created around pipes. The Net Pro Planner is pretty much identical. We've removed anything that may seem a little bit more essential oil focused. Like we don't have the essential oil recipes in there and all that fun stuff. Yeah. But the week by week planner allows you to focus on your income producing activities. So there's a section for your self-development that day that you write in, your contacts, your follow-ups that you do every day. So it's daily self-accountability. So you get to check off the box when you've accomplished it. Okay. There's a part for your weekly wins. The month at a glance has a section for all your expenses and your mileage and your business focuses. Next year, I just finished the 2020, so we've been working on that.
Oh, how fun. Now you said there's an app, so you do all of this stuff within the app?
So, and the app is similar, but has some other different features, some cool features as well. So the app is web-based, which we made it so you don't download it from your app store. You actually just go to the doughplannerapp.com and you get, it's a web-based, so you can use it on your phone, your laptop, your iPad, your friend's computer, it doesn't matter, it's all in the cloud. And cool. So there's a CRM system in there, there's a drip email campaign system, so no one falls through the cracks, there's a follow-up system. You can take pictures of your receipts with your phone and it scrapes all the info. So super cool. Awesome. I'm personally a paper and pen girl, but this for me is my strategy because I live by my schedule, knowing what I have to do, who I've committed to, and then I don't overcommit because I can look at my schedule from a high level view and look, how many very intensive things do I have on the schedule? I know how many days I need before and after an intense event to recoup and recover so that I don't enter a state of burnout. Because I've been there. And
for me, I ended up getting the large iPad just because I can't see the whole month clear enough on my phone. I have things in different colors so that I know that purple is family time, green is for my church. I have all, blue is work. So all of these different things, I know exactly what you mean. You need that high level view so I can see, if I take that on, I won't have any free time. So I'm leaving that as free time. Sorry, I'm busy this month. We have to go to next month. I do the exact same thing.
And it's learning how to guilt-free decommit to things, right? It's learning how we can guilt-free say no. And it's like, we need to be able to give cleanly with no expectations, but then we also need to be able to say no to things and without that, like, are they going to be mad at me or hate me or whatever?
Right,
it's like, no, I'm looking at my schedule. If I fit you in, I'm going to be having like a fetal position in the corner, like having these anxious feelings because I'm overwhelming it. And like, that's not fair for me or my family or anyone else, right? So it's okay. People will be like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it next month. They're not going to care, but
okay. Yeah. So I love it. So do you get into any coaching with people who want to learn how to strategize and plan out their life better?
Mm-hmm. So we do, I do a lot of videos. So with the Dough Planner, if you follow us on Facebook, the Dough Planner, I put out videos every single week. I talk about the quotes of the weeks that are in the Dough Planners.
Okay, awesome.
I did a master class last week. I taught to our community. We did a 3-day Jumpstart Your Biz challenge within our Dough Planner community. And then, so this is open for anyone that no one, like half these people aren't even on my, if not all of them are on my team. My team's like, I already hear enough from her. So.
And then what about generic network marketing?
Yeah, exactly.
So the generic one, and then they still go and listen to the Dough Planner. So you're teaching them how to do it, but they just use their own notebook.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do lives. I teach how to do time management matrix. So I teach how to do the Stephen Covey time management matrix. I teach how to do future time stamping so you don't get overwhelmed with all the things you need to do. So we've got loads of free content for people there.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for making that available for people.